All right, good evening, everybody. Let's get this party started. It is 9:57 p.m. and we're on the verge of some warm weather here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So looking forward to that. So let's get up toward 85 over the Easter weekend. So that's going to be crazy. Anyhow, it's April 16th of 2025. Philip Reynolds, the first one in here tonight. Philip, hope you're doing well. Hope the job's doing well. Did you get your new PC yet? That's important. Got to know if you got your new PC yet. All right, guys. So we've been doing this Boston.com tournament. People are liking it, and I'm very gratified by that. It's a it's the experiment we're going to do across multiple baseball games, but obviously everything's centered on out of the park baseball. Marriage needs prayers. Oh my goodness gracious! So yeah, prayers, my friend. Well, if you ever need to talk, we got to figure out how we can, maybe I can send you if I get your email and stuff, maybe sometime I can send you a little link. There's a way that we can talk on StreamYard that is just private, works like a Zoom meeting. So if you ever need a friend, reach out, buddy. We'll figure it out, okay? All right. So, what I've been getting here and some things in the comments is that I think that it's not really a bad thing, but I think there's a little bit confusion about how exhibition mode works, which is we're creating tournaments and how the main game works. So I look at this not officially, but I look at it out of the park baseball as having three like major kind of chunks, ecosystems, if you will. So there's the main game. I call it the main game, which allows you to do seasons. Okay, so now that means anything. Yeah, I'd be glad to talk to you, Philip. Definitely, and I think you and I, seeing from some of your past videos, you and I, we might be different denominations, but I think we definitely share some good Christian core values too. So I think it'd be good for both of us. So I'm an Eastern Orthodox Christian. But what matters is just that we share a lot of that. So let's talk sometime, Philip. We'll figure out how to do this. Okay. If you're in the Ned McGreevy Discord, you got some game charts laminated today. Awesome. If you're in the Ned McGreevy Discord, I will send you an email, and then we'll figure it out. Anyhow, so there's the main game. So that's for doing seasons. So not only season replays, but you could set up entire seasons of teams from like all eras of baseball. You could set up draft leagues. So anything that would be constituted as a season. So that's part one. That's to me that's the main game. The second part of that is one that I really don't play, but a lot of people do, is Perfect Team. Perfect Team is cool. You do not have to spend money on Perfect Team. I've seen Mike Silva come in. Okay, I got you there, Philip. Let me copy and paste that. Yeah, and then I'll send you an email. And then just so you know, it's me, right? And then we'll go from there, and we'll do a little, be a nice little voice chat. I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right, and I think be very, very helpful. So let me just put this in a text document and put yeah, PHILIPMRAYNOLDS email. All right, now let me get that in there. Um, and let me move this over. So Philip, what I'm going to do, okay, I've got your email here. I'm going to save it. Now, what I don't want to happen to you is to have you get spammed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you to please go ahead and where you put your email, please. If you could please go ahead and delete that. So you go up to the three dots and just remove that comment. So that way, because anybody watching this later, there's bots, there's stuff like that. I don't want you to get hammered down by bots. So just hover over your email, and those three dots should be allowed for you to remove the comment. Okay? Good job. All right. So anyhow, Perfect Team. I've watched Mike Silva. I've watched a bunch of guys play Perfect Team, And there's this sort of weird thing out there that says you got to play this game or pay to win perfect team. That is not true. What it does do is if you decide you want to pay some real money, you can get more booster cards and stuff like that. But I've seen people open like Lou Gehrig cards for free, stuff like that. You basically got to log into Perfect Team every day if you play it. The only reason I don't play Perfect Team is because I can create infinite perfect teams and out of the park baseball and watch them play. But that being said, it's fun. Now, the third part of the game masquerades itself over here under the new game setting. And that third one is the historical exhibition. And that's what we use to play like this Boston.com tournament and, ways you can replay any World Series and everything. Now, there is something that's a little bit meh about this. Hey, Robert, just saying quickly, Robert, this week I'm working 10-hour days. Man, by the time I get home, it's past your broadcast is over, buddy. I'm going to try to catch up. So great to see Robert in here. So guys who all right, Philip, get some good rest, buddy. All right, and you just show me how to play History Maker. Yeah, I'll do my best. No excuses, says Robert. All right, Robert, I hear you, buddy. You can give me a house Saturday night, and we have a baseball chin wag. How's that sound? Miss you, brother. All right, so here's the thing about it, though. The exhibition is nice. It's a real quick way to just play some baseball, but it's you have a lot less control. So, for instance, one of the comments, and I do read comments. Somebody was saying, "Oh, well, when I'm doing this, I only got these couple teams. I'm only limited to these years." So here's one of the main differences in the regular game. So whether you're playing the historical game, a custom game, um, mainly a historical game, custom game, okay, where you can normalize to any year that you want, all those kinds of things. Changing the names of like the Indians, or maybe you want to create a league where you have fictional teams with real players, or maybe you're one of those people who want to use fictional players. I don't do that. That's where you want to go. So the historical exhibition is not built for that. So it's kind of a third mode bolted on to Out of the Park 26. It doesn't. So so in action PC baseball, to use an analogy, if you play action PC baseball, at the end of it, boom, it goes right into a playoff structure. This works a little bit differently. You can do playoffs in Out of the Park 26 in the main game. But historical exhibition, this has nothing to do with any season project that you're doing. And I think that's important to bear in mind. As Robert gives me a kind of an emoji there, waiting to give me hell on Saturday night. Um, so what I wanted to talk about was ways for you guys, if you want to do a little bit more work, to maybe replay a World Series where you have a lot more control. And how you're going to do that is using the custom game. All right? Custom game will allow you to do kind of the same things, but I think it's more focused in a way. So let's say you want to play two teams from history, but you want to have a lot more control, just like you would in a regular season. Well, it's right there in front of us with the new custom game. The other thing too is the historical exhibition loads in Mike Silva's ballparks correctly, but you have to do a little bit of extra work for the for his uniform mod. So I haven't seen that that's exactly fixed. When I look at the players, it still looks like there's that kind of. I'm not sure what the template was Mike used, but it is about control. And so let's say that you wanted to play, um, and we even talk about creating a custom league where you can normalize to whatever year that you want, as opposed to exhibition. So we'll go to exhibition first, and I'm not going to create. Well, I'm going to throw in a couple teams just to illustrate this. When we will get to a game, I do hope that people will find this helpful, because again, Out of the Park is 10 light years deep and 10 light years wide and 10 light years tall in every direction. I mean, this is truly an intense game, and you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty in this game. You just can't. So right now, let's say we were going to just add, and I'm going to just add just 10 teams at random. Doesn't matter what they are. Okay. because this is what you're going to get. So right now, if we click on default modern era, we can see that we have two other settings, 1956 and 1957 or 1977. Now, I think what a lot of people are running into is they're thinking, oh, so that's all I can choose because it just populates these first two, and you can change these. All right, so let's start with let's start with just for sake of illustration, let's go to what it calls the defensive era in 1980, and let's go ahead and we'll just put in the Philadelphia Phillies. Again, this is not something we're ever going to play, but what I want you to see here now is now see how that's changed to 1980 instead of 1977. Okay, same thing here. So we're going to stay in the golden years, but this time let's pick 1948, and let's go ahead and put in the Cleveland Guardians, which now, again, in tournament mode or exhibition mode, you cannot change this name. You can in the main game, but you can't here. Okay, so let's select another era. Let's go to the dead ball era, and let's go to 1914, and let's pick the Boston Braves, the Miracle Braves of that year. Okay. Now, if we get down here, now we have 1914, 48, and 80. So the point that I'm trying to impress upon you is when you're creating a tournament, you can normalize your tournament to the years of the teams that you've selected. Okay. Whereas in the main game, you can normalize to whatever you want. Okay. So I don't need to fill all of this out. I think you guys get the picture. Okay. That's one of the differences. Okay. Let's go back to the out of the park main screen. Okay. And again, it's very, very simple. If we go to historical exhibition and we just want to select a World Series, we can just select a World Series. Maybe, for Robert, it would be obviously the 1986 World Series. Now you have some measure of control here. If you want to flip the teams, you can do that. If you want to make this just a one-off, you could do it. If you want to make this like the dead ball era and make it a 9-game World Series, go for it. You want it to just go 5, like a championship series used to be, and now a division series is. Go ahead. You can also, um, since it's just 1986, you can do that, or just normalize it to default modern era. So very different baseball that we're playing now. Change your active roster limit all the way up to 40 players if you want. Disable, enable injuries. You can turn the DH on or off. So here you can see for the Mets, it's off. For the Red Sox, it's on. Okay. You can change the series mode. You get a bunch of choices right there, but that's pretty much it. And again, it's fun, and you can go in, change lineups, things like that. Pretty cool, nice season recap. But again, it doesn't give you maybe the measure of control that you might want to get. Maybe you want to try to play maybe an alternate 1986 World Series where you're calling up certain people from the minors. You want to try something, or maybe somebody was injured. We've run into things where somebody would say, well, he didn't play the whole season with that team, or he was injured, or whatever. So it tournament mode or exhibition mode, I keep calling it tournament mode, my apologies, works differently. Okay. Let's go back to our Out of the Park main screen. Tessier Ashpole in here. He says, hey, Beatles, thanks for the stream tonight, man. He says, sorry your Pirates almost got into a good old-fashioned dust-up today. As Bill with the Butcher. Love Bill the Butcher. Wow, I have to check out what we did. We're not having the best year so far, but it is what it is. All right, now, how would we go about setting up a World Series um, outside of historical exhibition? Well, we go to new custom game, and I am not going to mess around with challenge mode. Okay. So we are going to make this fictional. And I know that's going to raise some eyebrows, but just trust me. So this is going to be fictional. All right. Now, how many do we want to do here? So we could go down to 4 teams if we wanted to. But we could also just go to 2 teams if we wanted, okay, with 1 division, okay? and we just got Team 1 and Team 2. That's what we got. Okay, you don't have to touch advanced mode in this. Corey Highfield, great to see you, man. Look at that. All the luminaries are here with us tonight, and 10 people watching, taking notes, I hope. All right. So this is it. So even though it says 4 total teams, we're just going to do 2 teams in this division. That's it. And we have 1 sub-league. All right. Let's go to our next step. And we'll let it load, and do what it does. All right. So we just have 2 teams, but we can switch right here to historical team selection. But first, let's name this something, and let's call it, yeah, let's just say we've been playing with the 1986 World Series. So 1986 WF, and we're just going to put this as, or WS, and we'll just put, is it 86? Will it let me do a whole WS? Yeah, it will. 86 World Series. Major League. Switch to historical team selection. Okay. If you want to put a league name in or abbreviation, you can. So whatever. Okay, so again, we're going to select here. And I know this is a little bit more work, but it is rewarding. And I don't know whether Dwayne Martz has been using this in his World Series project, which has been kind of on hold right now. All right, so let's get the Red Sox in there. And let's get the Mets in there. Okay, so a few people are hanging around. And again, this is basically meant to just illustrate that you have more control over what's going on. Okay, so we'll just call this league name 86 Awesome, because it was a great World Series. It really was. And we'll just call it 86 AWS. How's that? Okay, and don't really care about divisions. Okay, we're not going to worry about minor leagues, anything like that. So we've got Mets. That's it. So this is how small you can get with this thing. Let's go to the next step. Hey, Chris Slovic, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. All right, so then we've got our league settings, and now here is where you see the big difference. So we have only 2 teams selected, but remember, when you look back in the exhibition mode, all you could select would, in this case, would have been either default modern era or 1986. So now here's where the alchemy starts to come in. You could play the 1986 World Series in 1906 if you wanted to. You could play it in 2025. God knows why you would want to, but there you go. Any of these years. Okay, but we're going to leave it at 1986. We're not going to do anything weirdly experimental here. Okay, anything that might require sending the children to bed early. How many games do we want? Well, how about we're going to have 7 games? Yeah, we're going to have 7 games. All right. So, and then the typical series length, um, we can sort of play around with that. So it could be like 3 games, all right, for a typical series length. We could get down to 1 game, whatever, but let's just leave it at 3 and see what happens. This is experimental. We're not going to hold an inaugural fantasy draft. Doesn't make any sense, okay? Chris says, wait, you actually want to recreate the 86 so they have the actual uniforms and just delete the... So you can do that, but I think we can do it this way, Chris. Let's try this. Now, if you've done this before, that's cool. Okay. So then just create the schedule. Yeah, let's see what happens here. I want to try this backdoor way first. But again, I think what I wanted to show was you already have way more options. Okay. All right. And Chris could be right. We could just do the whole schedule and then just knock it all out, right? So it says create the season so they have the actual uniforms, then just delete the other teams so you don't have to mod the uniforms. True. So we could do that. We could do that. And in which case we would just bring in the 1986 season. But I want to try this. This is an experiment. Chris, if you've tried this, that is cool. If you haven't, you'd have to click options, then no playoffs to recreate a World Series. Okay, well let's go and see what we got. Let's see what we got. because again, I like things that blow up in my face too. Okay. If you want to use scouting accuracy, I do like to use accurate. Some people argue against it because you're already knowing what you're getting, and that's fine. That is fine. Okay. I don't use face gen. I don't like it. I'm sorry. I don't like it. He says, or you got an or coming up here. Okay. So I just want to play as a manager, just as a manager, but to get around the GM stuff, just playing commissioner mode and cannot be fired and what have you. Or you could just set regular season to 0 games, then create custom playoffs. That would be cool. All right, well, let's go back. Let's go back and see if we can. Let's try Chris's ways of doing that. This is why I appreciate the feedback, because I want people to have um, to have blah, 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 blah. So yeah, set regular 0 games and create custom playoffs. Okay, so typical series length here. So the 7 game regular season is for seeding, then create the World Series so the better record has home field. Okay, all right. So we're skipping the regular season, right? 0 equals skip regular season, and then we can have up to 3. I don't know. We're going to leave this at 3. I don't know what's going to happen here. We could anywhere from 1 to 5. So again, just experimenting. Okay, let's go next, and let's call this 86 experiment. Okay, just EXP. All right, and autosave. These are the things I always do, just dynamic. My role as a manager, and we'll see how this works. And if not, we're going to go back and have Chris kind of help us out here and go. So we do have to do some modding. Okay, I'm going to pick the Red Sox, and we'll start the game. We will have to do some work, but then we'll try Chris's way of doing things as well. Okay, but let's go to our team home screen and let's see what we got here. Do we even have a player list? Maybe we do have to go back. Nope, there we go. So there they are. So they are in here. Okay, we didn't simulate a season or anything, but what you can do with this that is not available, and I think, Chris, this is what I wanted to impress. And it's very easy to do with 2 teams. So you're seeing everybody here. Everybody's here. And if I click on Roger Clemens and I look at his real life stats, I get his real life stats. If I do this in tournament, what you get, or in exhibition mode, you get some weird abbreviations here. Okay, so the level, this 86 World Series, you don't have to worry about that. But we're looking at Roger Clemens, which you cannot do this in the same way. Okay, but here's the other thing. Let's go back a page, and yeah, I don't have the logos or anything set up like that. Okay, but what I like about doing it this way, if you want to have, you could do some player development stuff if you want. Um, there you go to your practice facility, see who's going on in here. You could also set your strategy. So everything's neutralized right now, okay? But you could set strategy here. You can ask Xavier Kane, whoever he is, for the strategy, and we'll analyze the Boston Red Sox. And then we can do the same thing, of course, the other for the other team. You can pick different strategy presets here. So again, this is going to be something for people that want to experiment and people that want more control over the team. So maybe you want this to be kind of a sabermetric sort of uh, thing. So there now you see things have changed up radically. Changed up radically. So using infield shifts, use outfield shifts. So this manager now is going to use this at all times and all scores. And then down here you would pick not only the times of the game, like early, middle, or late innings, and then down here whatever scores, whether you're trailing by a large trail, small trail, it's close with within 1 run either way, small lead, large lead. Okay, so And I think doing it Chris's way is going to be more efficient. Either way gets you here. So just imagine what you could do. Now, what is missing from out of the park baseball that I would love for it to have, that Pure Sim has, is you can import managers. And I really, really, really wish Out of the Park would do that. I don't know. Maybe Chris knows better. I've never ever seen where I can just import, like if I wanted to have John McGraw manage the Boston Red Sox and I wanted to have Connie Mack manage the New York Mets. And yes, I realize I switched the two leagues on those managers. But if you want to go to just strategy presets, you want to do tactician, whatever. You don't even have to touch this if you don't want to, but everything is kind of neutralized. Let me see what else. Okay, so we go to lineups here. There's lineups. Change what you want. Do what you want. And while you can do that in in exhibition mode, you can see here that you have a lot more control, and that's what I like. Okay. Now we can, of course, look at our graphical depth chart. We can change any of this. And I've shown you guys how to do this before. So right now, I'm the manager of the Boston Red Sox. So if I wanted Don Baylor to get a little bit more time in center field, he's only going to get in there if Tony Armas is tired. But he's going to get in here about every 20th game for Jim Rice. But maybe I want to give Baylor a little bit more love. So maybe I want to put him in every seventh game. I can do that. Now, here's the issue is if you switch to the Boston and New York Mets, and some people might not know this, do you see here that everything is grayed out? So I can't change anything. So all you do is go up here, go to available jobs, right? And then I'm going to apply as manager of the New York Mets. It gives up my own, and you can switch ownership. Now, okay, now I'm with the New York Mets. And again, let's not worry about logo or anything right now. All right, we're not going to worry about that. All right, and we're going to go to strategy. Okay, and yeah, we're in player strategy. Lineups, graphical depth charts. Now I can change anything I want with the New York Mets. You cannot do this to this degree in exhibition mode. Really, the last part is setting up the colors, everything like that. So if you want, now the other way that Chris did it, that Chris is suggesting, create the season, right? And then that's going to already have the uniforms, everything, and then right, you can follow his steps to do that. And then you got yourself a World Series. But I like this. I think this is the tournament mode is nice and easy, and I'm going to keep using the tournament mode for tournaments. Now, Chris does something really, really cool. And I need to have him come on some night and talk about this. So Chris is he's figured out a way to go past the 70 team limit. I want to know how he does that, because if you guys have ever catch, one thing Chris does with Out of the Park Baseball is, I mean, a mega huge projects. I mean, insanely huge products. And these are full seasons, they're not tournaments. And Chris explained it to me one time in a chat, but I'd really like to get him on and while he's maybe explaining to me, let me drive or whatever. Because I really, really want to do that. Not to try to steal any of Chris's thunder or anything like that. But I have some ideas that I want with a much larger than, say, a 30 team or 32 team league, right? So, yeah, all right, let's do it. Chris, I can't do it tonight here on this stream because I'm on OBS. So we'll have to do it on a night when I'm in either XSplit or something, a couple other things people try. I'm trying to get away from StreamYard if I can because it's a resource hog and it's too expensive. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. And you will be employed, my friend. I understand, Chris. No worries. Okay, so guys, when we get back to home, and this is where you can go to your settings and edit your ballpark and So the ballpark's already there. So there's Shea Stadium. Okay, you don't have to do anything here. It's just to just show you here. By the way, I don't know if anybody knew this. You can get your you can create your own ballparks. Now, what's neat about Out of the Park 26 is that it will generate parks for you. But here's what's cool. So let's say you create a season and for some odd reason you just never got Mike Silva's parks, or maybe you're creating something that maybe some minor league parks, you don't have all the minor league parks or whatever. This game has a massive database of ballparks, and what the ballpark creator will do was create a ballpark. So what you'll see around here, you know, like in the bleachers, grandstands and everything, are going to be different looking. However, it will roughly keep the same dimensions of the actual field. So you could create a sort of fictional Ebbets field that'll have the dimensions of Ebbets, but will look different. Um, I think that's a really, really nice touch. The thing with the 3D ballpark construction kit, which is why I gave this a bit of a knock when we did our sort of unboxing of Out of Park 26, there's not enough different sections. You're still better off getting Mike Silva's ballparks. They're just better. The 3D ballpark set, they look great. I've played around with it before I installed Mike's ballparks, and it creates nice ballparks. It really, really does. So I encourage you to play around with it, maybe with some fictional leagues or what have you. Okay? All right. So we're going to back here, and we go to modify team logos, uniforms. This is where we do our thing here. So you do have to do a little, because we know the Mets aren't green and white, although those are pretty cool uniforms, aren't they? Yeah, I like them. I like them. So let's do this. I should have everything in here somewhere. I forget where I don't think I. Oh, this is still when everything is out of the park. So let me go to filter. Let me see if we can get New York 1986. Are they in here? Nope, that's not the way to do it. I don't think I have everything in here yet. So, New York Mets. There we go. Is this the one I want? Got all kinds of New York Mets stuff in here. Oh, okay, yeah. I don't have everything in Out of the Park 26 was where it would live. But again, if you do it Chris's way, you can change all this. So I can also, of course, just select a New York Mets logo. And here you can see, look at all the logos you get. Now I'm pointing back to my, oh, actually I do have everything out of the Park 26. So let's pick the New York Mets. Again, either way you choose to do this, it's going to work because the idea with this is about player, sort of having player control. And it's not like their uniforms change that much. So there's the Mets logo. There's primary, secondary colors, and all those other things. I'm not going to get into this bit at all. High socks, whatever. Um, do what you want. I think that Chris's idea, of course, works well. Always got to have high socks, by the way. But that's really for up to you and what you want to do. We look at their ball caps, and again, you know, we can kind of custom design, whatever. We can select, and it goes here for ball caps. And you can see caps go all the way down. You can do a filter, or you can just scroll down. Most people aren't gonna go to this trouble, but I wanted to really get this for the guys that were saying, "Oh, geez, I want more control," or this guy wasn't on the you know, this guy wasn't on the roster or whatever. So okay, there we go. Look, proper Mets cap. Just go through and just select, and it's automatically going to go to where you need it to go. Okay, so I don't know where we are in jerseys right now, and just go for it, man, and have fun. You can use the filter to do all this as well, but I kind of like to look through them. So more than 1,000 files, man. So I got to hit this filter, and I've got to type. I could just click Mets. I don't even have to type. There we go. So now I got the Mets and 83 to 90 load. They're turning. Look, they're turning into the New York Mets. They're turning into the New York Mets. That's how you do it, guys. Um, and this is all Mike's uniform mod, by the way. So not only his ballparks, but the uniform mod. Okay. Same thing with pants, socks, what have you. Okay. Again, you're going to select. You could auto load. I like kind of, you know me. I like messing around with things. So whatever you want to do. I don't really worry about socks too much. But right now, these look like the New York Mets. Looks like the New York Mets, man. And then you can do their home, and you're gonna have to do away and everything like that too. See, but that auto load, stay away from it. Stay away from it. You can generate random stuff too. By the way, I don't know if you knew that in this game. You can keep generating random logos to your heart's content. Why is this important? Hey, Todd. So you guys know in Pocket Pennant Run, you can do custom logos. So if, unlike me, maybe you're not an artist and you've created some teams, and you want to do your own logos for them, because you can create fictional teams with real players and that, or whatever, even fictional players. Just use this and then a program like Green Shot, and just grab it, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Okay. Um, but anyhow, I'm just going to click OK. We're not going to play this. We're not going to do anything with this. But again, you do have player development. So imagine now. So you've taken this down to its core, down to its core, and you can create with more work, but certainly with more freedom, the World Series rematch you want to play. Todd B joining us, and John DFW. So there you go, guys. That's how you do it. If you don't want to play a World Series using exhibition mode, do it in this, and you're fine. Bob's your uncle. Bob's your uncle, baby. And let me see. Oh, there we go. It's opening Google Earth now. I love this part because all the parks are geo-referenced in the game. And we'll just close this. And yikes! And there it is, baby. And no other baseball game does this. There's Shea. So the game knew exactly where to find this in Google Earth. How super cool is that, huh? I mean that's bloody cool. Look at that. That's pretty. Of course, now it's Citi Field, but there it is. That's exactly where it is in Queens. And so that means a hit in this game, if you're using an actual ballpark, if it goes 408 feet, it's 408 feet. So everything mapped out in Google Earth. So georeferenced ballparks. Only game I know that has that. Let's go ahead and just, let me see. I have unsaved items. So I'm going to discard those unsaved items because I don't care. All right. So John says that his 1967 Red Sox World Series replay isn't starting so well, down 2-0. Yikes! That's not good. That's not good. Now, for Chris's way, if I'm reading this correctly, let's say you do the whole season, you sim it out, right? But here's the thing, because you already have those teams, you can actually put the two teams you want in a World Series, and Bob's your uncle too. So there's a couple ways to do it. You can't score runs. That 67 Red Sox team is a challenge. They're a challenge. I've had a lot of Red Sox fans, John, tell me that they've managed these 67 Red Sox, and they know like everything about the 1967 Red Sox, and they can't win with them, so they try. Let's get back to our out of the park start screen. So I hope that helped everybody, and if it at least cleared up the difference between the exhibition mode and what you can do in custom game. For me, custom game is the heart of this game, and the things that you can do with this are absolutely insane. Yep, Park has real World Series rosters. Yep. So I mean, again, this custom game, and I promise you guys, we're going to get into a game here. So we're just going to do fictional, but remember to read the fine print. Doesn't mean you have to use fictional players. Okay, so you can have again the two sub leagues, but you can have. Look at this, man. You can keep going. How and this? Look at that. You can have 50 teams. Look at this. So let me do this. Look, there's 50 teams in Division One. I'm guessing this is how Chris does this. 50 teams in Division Two. This is going to be insane. And no, we're not going to fill this out. So, so we have three divisions, and in Division, look at this. Isn't this insane? Now imagine what you could do if you really, and if you're like me and you have no life, which I don't. Did end it with the girlfriend, amicably, but there's where we are. Um, oh, let's just go nuts here for a second. I just want to see how maddening this would be, and I think it would be really really maddening, but really fun. Good God, this would just be about everybody in baseball history, wouldn't it? Ha! All right, so let's you know what? Let's make this two divisions because that's a little bit nuts, isn't it? Yeah, that's a little bit nuts. So let's say you wanted to take 100 of what Dave Cook calls baseball's top 160 teams, or maybe you have a great team set. You put them all in here. Put them all in here. Hey, Legend Sports Universe, how you doing? So, and we go to the next step. So again, guys, we're getting to the game, but this is the unintended part of where we're going. So look what you have here. Look at this insanity. So what you could do if you have the integrated mod from Mike Garland, or you're just using the regular database in here, and maybe you wanted to do a complete and utter unexpected computer drafting everybody, um, you could just go to the next step and it will just kaboom. Or if you want to do this, go to historical team selection, and if you have the time and a good enough Spotify playlist, or you're on Amazon Music or whatever, have at it, man. Just have at it. So, right? You know, hey, 1902, let's put in those 1902 Pittsburgh Pirates. So the scale of this game really, really, really is unlike any other. They're just like any other. So now that we've shown how you can have a World Series with more control, imagine something like this. A huge, huge league. Now, granted, so we're talking about what? So we have oops, 50 teams in each. What the hell happened there? 50 teams in each division. So 100 teams, and you're bound to get doppelgangers, but doppelgangers are okay if you watch what Chris Slovic does. Up to no good here. Always baseball dreamland. Are you kidding me? Always up to no good. Can't be. Just wanted to show people at the beginning how to create a World Series without using the exhibition mode, so that you have a lot more control over your team and have a lot of fun and mix things up, what ifs and things like that. Play it in different eras, things like that. Um, Also, again, this will create a playoff structure and everything when you go through a season. So I really, really encourage. I know most guys do season replays, but I encourage you to try the custom game mode. It's powerful, and yeah. So um, there we go. And you can even randomize cities and nicknames, even from this screen if you want, whatever. So have yourselves a ball, baby. All right. So anyhow, we're just going to cancel all that out. So everybody has all that. Dig into this game, man. It's awesome. All right. So Legends, what is going on? What do you got coming up on your channel, man? I told Robert I've been working 10-hour days. We're super, super short staffed everywhere over there. I don't understand it. Why? The economy is good. I guess people just don't want to work. Um, Does anybody wants to work at FedEx in this part of Pennsylvania? Put in your application. Pays well and weekly, so you know. All right. Where were we? Okay, yeah, we're going to continue now with Boston.com. Closing in on the All Star break. 3 more broadcasts before that. Yeah, I mean, John, it is, and I know that for some people, um, that's kind of like a ooh, no, it isn't. No, it isn't. It is. It really, really is. I don't think that I think with Action PC, and I love it. It's my second favorite baseball sim. It really is. I love it. But because it's made to be a single season replay game, which you can do all kinds of stuff, but it's just a season structure. There's not a career mode or anything like that. Um, and there's no player development lab in it. There's no ballpark creator. Now, one of the criticisms, John, I think leveled at out of the park baseball is it tries to do too many things, and therefore it kind of falls short. Well, my answer to that is, while I would agree it's doing a lot of things, it's being more and more and more refined, and this coming from somebody whose perspective from playing out of the park baseball since 1999 and seeing how this game has evolved and how it's going to continue to evolve. Um, it's going to be tight. Legends, let me know, man, because if you're going to do a game, I can cut this short. I don't even have to do a game. So just let me know, bud. All right. Yeah. So every season, yeah, and we do have. That's the other thing. And oh no, Corey, I like them both. I think they complement one another very, very well. And I also think that with Out of the Park now adding a dedicated, strict replay mode, because it always defaulted to career mode, but adding that strict replay mode and has a function where you can track your replay along with the actual season. Not a knock on Action PC Baseball. I love the hell out of it, and it allows me a level of customization that's easier to do, I think, than this, working at the player level. Um, and the other thing is, because you get all of these seasons, I don't have to, even though I own all the seasons for Action PC Baseball, for me to create some of the projects that, say, Chris Slovic does, I would have to install every season to do that. Whereas here, they're here. I am not going to sit here and install every season. Let's say from 1901 to 2024. I'm just not going to do it. And Action PC Baseball, that's insane. I won't do it. But it is. This is, to me, this one's the king. Um, will it ever be as beautiful looking as MLB The Show? Nope. But holy hell, man! For text-based baseball sim, this one's a beauty. Not that beauty always matters, and Action PC is a nice looking game in its own way. It really is. Don't stop anything you're doing. If you get a game going, people watch tomorrow. No, man, not if you're doing live. Damn it, I want to be there too. So that's why I'm saying. Now, one thing John brings up here really, really importantly that Out of the Park needs to work on. This does have every season from 1871, or every player. Let's be more specific. From 1871 to the present. The problem is the 19th century doesn't work correctly in this game. So you can't just jump in and do 1889. You can't do it. You actually have to start in 1871, and each year that you progress, you actually have to. You're going to be getting rid of teams, doing settings, doing all kinds of things. And that's not the fault of Out of the Park Baseball. Baseball went through so many rule changes. There were teams that were, in there for 2 weeks and gone. You had these ephemeral leagues like the Union Association lasted 1884. You had the Players League, which lasted 1 year in 1890. But baseball was really in flux until 1893. Now, that being said, I shouldn't say the 19th century. You can start a game in Out of the Park Baseball in 1893, 1894, and you'll be fine. but you're really best to go with 1901 forward in this game. For 19th century, I think you're better off creating kind of draft leagues with it if you want, unless you start in 1871. Um, Hopefully they'll fix it. This is the only game that does no another game that goes two games that go back to 1871 and do it. Our Pocket Pennant Run goes back to 1871, and Baseball for Windows goes back to 1871. But but neither of those are allow league evolution, whereas this one does, and that I think is the problem with with 19th century baseball. Plus, you had the National Association, which it's recognized as a major league, but it really wasn't a major league, if that makes sense. If you go back, right? So the first real major league is the National League, 1876, but then you have the American Association, you had, of course, the Union Association, the Players League, and that's just in the 19th century. Then in the 20th century, of course, you had the Federal League, 1914 and 1915. But those leagues were stable, as was the American Association. Players Association, or the Players League, I'm sorry, and Union Association, not so much, baby. So it's not the best for 19th century baseball, unfortunately. Wish it was. You can and you can't play 19th century in exhibition mode. There's just no way you can do it. Wish you could. If any game can get any of your Indians team to win the World Series, you're all in. How about it? How about it? Legend says, before I forget, I want to thank you for touting your channel. You hit 500 today, man. Awesome. Sweet. Oh, man. Hey, thank you, man. You're bringing all kinds of I mean, what you're doing, and I wish I had known you back in your out of the park days, man, because with what you're doing with MLB The Show, God, I wish San Diego studios, I wish I knew somebody. I wish the whole community could write to them. We should start a petition and say, look, you guys got to check out what he's doing with your game, and wouldn't it be really cool if you could kind of help guys like Legends do what they do? Because it would be in San Diego studios' best interest. Think about this. A lot of dudes, after a while, man, they're like, I want a little bit something more than a Twitch game. Well, if they're already in an environment that they're familiar with, why not give people the tools? People want to mod the game, and the first thing San Diego studios make rosters transfer from edition to edition, please. But Legends, thank you back to you, brother. So yeah, man, 500 subs, and you did it quickly. You did it quickly, man. So they assume the guys who cling to it, calling it a Twitch game, will never convert, and that's wrong, right? That is absolutely wrong. And I wish they'd look. So Legends, the first baseball game I ever played was I played Micro League Baseball and Earl Weaver Baseball, and neither were Twitch games, but I was playing also Hardball, the hardball series, stuff like that, and playing some high heat, but I wanted more. And so I'm like, okay, cool. There are these other games coming out now that allow me to do that much more. So and having this environment that they would be familiar with. And any game out there, any great game that has staying power, and Legends, you know this, brother, any game that's mod friendly is gonna be just off the charts. People are still doing mods for games that are 20 and 25 years old. Still doing it. Um, in fact, there's a new game called Inzoi, which I have on my new PC. I got to show you guys because I know you guys are into simulators. This is, a lot of people are selling it short and saying, oh, it's just The Sims. No way, man. This thing is it's a life simulator, man. It's a life simulator, and it's insane and it's beautiful. You got to have a badass PC to run it, but it's incredible. There's nothing like Inzoi out there. Um, and not only does Inzoi have all this stuff, but it's got already they're opening it up to the mod community, and this game's gonna go forever and ever and ever and ever. Look at Age of Wonders 4, a very recent game, beautiful 4X high fantasy game, mods. Total War Warhammer series, which is already immense and would take you 5 lifetimes to play every campaign and everything in that, mods. Mods, 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 and modding support. Out of the Park Baseball, same thing. So, John's saying the only problem is that they don't have image likenesses rights to most retired players. But they don't have the rights. But that doesn't mean that. Okay, think about it this way, John, right? You look at Action PC Baseball, right? It doesn't come with any of the logos. It can't. It's not allowed, right? But there is nothing stopping an end user from using Action PC Baseball or using actual Major League logos or what have you, because the licensing comes from the game. They're making the money. So if I was doing an Action PC League, no problem. So Todd says, Legends, if I unsub, then resub to get you to 500 again. Do you win anything? You see, 500 feet. So it's really weird. That happened to me too, Legends, and I think it has to do with YouTube, because when I hit 600, so you and I, we're about the same size channel, brother. When I hit 600, I was like at 600, like, yeah, awesome. And somebody said, oh, congrats on 600. I was Sean, who still waiting for Sean to smooth things over with Paul Fay, because I just removed his wrench, but he can have his wrench back. Anyhow, he said, hey, Beatles, congratulations on 500 subs or whatever it was, 600. I said, thanks, man. And it went on, and it was like, what? 599? So, yeah, I think it does that, then it stables out again. So the other thing is YouTube only allows you to have so many subscriptions. I'm subscribed to like 930 channels. When you hit another channel, it will unsubscribe you from channels. It's strange. So I think it's a YouTube thing, dude. Believe me, there's nobody that has subscribed to your channel that would have unsubscribed willingly. It's that good. And I mean, whatever small part I played in it, you're welcome. But you're the one doing all the work, man. And it's also your fault that I have 6 versions of MLB The Show. That's your fault, dude. So there you go. This is what happens when you get a guy who knows his baseball and an editor and all this kind of stuff, and you watch him. It's like, damn, that's it. I'm buying that. I want this. I want that. I still don't understand roster management and that thing, how to load in different rosters and stuff, but man, Legends converted me, because I was one of those people that thought it was just a Twitch game. And then he's playing, because he told me one day in a chat, he said, no, man, you can manage the game. In fact, you can just watch the game. I'm like, what? And he said, come to my channel. And I did. And I'm like, damn. So, yep. You only have to use the controller if you want, just to move around menus and stuff. But making that game do what, let's face it, franchise modes, I think, was for people to, oh, let me try this player, move this guy. To have 30 franchises, each with 100 players and a random draft pool, and then, you've got random drafts every year, and you've got trades and deals and stuff like that. He's making it out of the park, is what he's doing. And that is no mean feat. Oh my God. More versions than I do. Well, I know you're sticking with 22. And so funny thing, Legends, is you've got, I mean, I haven't even bought, I haven't bought 25 at all. Haven't bought it. I have 24, never installed it. Have 23, didn't install it. I did have 20 because it had some pretty cool roster sets. I have 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So however many that is how many I have. And I'm not going to buy 25. But man, oh man, it's awesome. Just love it. All right, let's look at our matchups tonight here. What time is it? Holy moly. So the 1976 Reds have moved on ahead. 1929 Athletics, good game last night. They beat Arizona. 1927 Yankees, of course, no surprise, they moved ahead. 1948 Indians. The 1986 Mets, 1998 Astros, and the 1982 Brewers. So I've been trying to skirt around the dead ball games, but it's getting to the point now where there's going to be a dead ball matchup against a modern team, so it should be fun. From Todd says from what he's heard and read, they did little to nothing much for franchise buffs and MLB The Show. Yeah, John, I'll tell you what, you got at some point you got to get a PS5 if you'd like some console gaming. There's some good stuff on PS5. In fact, Path of Exile 2, I would rather play that on PS5 than on PC because, you can sort of strafe move and everything like that, and it's easier, I think, to do with control than using the WASD keys. So yeah. Now, that being said, if you've got a good computer too, but I bought it because I wanted to play MLB The Show and ended up buying a bunch of other stuff for it. So, including Unicorn Overlord, which is actually a good game. All right, so tonight we are going to. I don't see Ken Castro anywhere, so I'm going to try to stay out of the dead ball era for one more night, but we're really running out of options here. I think we're going to do the Padres and the Tigers tonight. Why not? Why not? Padres and Tigers. That ought to be some little modern baseball for people. For PS6, so I think, yeah. So there's a Japanese issue only of MLB. Yeah, it's called Baseball Dreams. Let me bring that up for you. This thing's getting a lot of buzz. A lot of buzz. Or Baseball Spirits. I'm sorry. Baseball Spirits. Mea culpa, guys. Yeah, and if I would learn to spell, wouldn't that be nice too? I do believe it's called Baseball Spirits Game. Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. Let's see what we can find on it here. Because you guys got to see. This thing looks incredible. I can't show any videos of it, but maybe I could show some images. All right, so let me drag this over here. I'm wasting time so that Legends can actually get on here and play a game. Okay, so holy hell, this looks pretty scary good. Can I bring this up? Video unavailable. Bite me, bite me, bite me, bite me. I'm going to show you guys. I don't know how well. I've got to wait here because it'll bring it over in a minute. It's a pretty incredible looking game. And it's still not showing tonight. No, you guys seeing anything there at all? Yeah, there we are. Okay. So there's a Japanese version of MLB The Show I've never heard of, but this is getting all kinds of serious buzz, man. Let me see. Let me see if we can just get it to just do some images or something, because it's a beautiful game. Okay. See if you guys. Oh, I hate that it does this. So look closely. Put your noses up to the screen. If you're watching on a phone, I'm sorry. Let's visit. So, not bad looking. Not bad looking at all. I wouldn't say it's like light years ahead of the show, but that's not too shabby. That's not too shabby. Let's see if we can find some other. Okay, this is. The faces are incredible. The faces are incredible. This is it's Japanese baseball. And of course, it's not showing me the faces. Damn it. Get this great looking picture. So this isn't bad, man. Okay, 15 more minutes. Okay, don't change your plan. Oh, I know, man. But if we can just hang out and talk a little bit, and you do decide to do a game, we're there, man. We are there, brother. Ah, so why doesn't it give me any? I keep clicking on these images because I don't want you guys to like kill yourselves here. But trying to look at things. Let's try this. And I mean, you know, a baseball game. I mean, baseball is a religion in Japan. So there's even a review of it. And if that is a any indication of what the player modeling looks like, San Diego Studios does have a little bit of work to do. Um, that maybe, not so much. The year you finally got to import the Pro Yoko Spirits. So it looks like it lets you do some stuff. Now, could you put Major League Baseball into this thing? I have no idea how this works. But check it out. It's called Baseball Spirits, and it's available for PlayStation 5. And done by Konami, which I think they're the publisher. I don't know who actually um, published the thing. So you picked up MLB The Show for like $10. Yeah, I mean that's the other thing. Just wait. If you're an MLB The Show fan, pick up 24. There should be a lot of roster sets for that that you can play or just replay the 2024 season if you're so inclined. Um, Still, I guess Craig is still working on the Pocket Pennant Run update. Clinton Parks, welcome in, dude. How you doing? How you doing, Clinton? Clinton in here causing trouble, and that's what we love. He says, I'm here to let cousin know, but he may be asleep. You're working on a shipwreck called Digital. So Digital Diamond is getting a little bit of flack. So it's gotten some patches, which is good, but it's catching a little bit of heat. There is one person, I don't name names, one person has actually gone back and is playing Digital Diamond version 12. I like 13 because I think the player import is better and team import. So that for me is pretty cool. I'm a little bit let down about Digital Diamond and how the cards don't sync, and Mark said they're not supposed to. So I'm a little let down by that because I was really excited about doing Status Pro, but I guess that's really not going to happen, unfortunately. So you may not see that game on this channel as much, except as just another baseball game, I suppose. Show you guys how to set up all-time great leagues or something. But yeah. So we're not going to do this. Maybe we'll just load a game, play part of it, and when Legends is ready to rock, in which I hope he will tell me, we'll just cut the game short, and that'll be fine. So I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Let's do an exhibition game just till Legends is ready, okay? Because people are hanging out, and I love it. I don't even know what the this is yeah. So let's just play an exhibition game. This is from a Mike Garland mod, and let's play the Tigers against the A's. So the 1972 Tigers against the A's. I don't know how good the Tigers were in '72, but let's have fun. So, but then I'm just gonna put. I have to change this. Then a random game. There we go. Random game. I do want to do more stuff beyond just out of the park, but this is the one I tend to gravitate to for some bizarre reason. Okay, so 1970s baseball. Let's go. For shits and giggles, as they say. All right, and again, Legends at any time, just say, you're going on now. Or and then we'll quit this. All right, leading off in right field, Jim Northrup batting second and first base. Al Kaline batting third and catching. Bill Freehand batting in the cleanup spot. And yeah, this automatically, Garland had this default as a DH league, so we'll just leave it as is. Norm Cash batting 50 in center field. Mickey Stanley batting 6th in left field, Gates Brown. Batting 7th at third base, Aurelio Rodriguez. Batting 8th at second, Dick McAuliffe. And Ed Brinkman, batting 9th, is a shortstop. Bill Slayback will be taking the mound for the Tigers. And you're seeing no stats because we're just playing an exhibition. All right, leading off for the Swingin' A's of 1973, leading off the speedy Billy North, batting second and third base, Sal Bando, batting third, first baseman Joe Rudy, in the cleanup spot in right field, Red G, batting sixth and catching Gene Tennis, batting seventh, left fielder Jesus Salou. Pat Bork will have the DH duties and bat seventh. Bert Campaneris at short bats eighth. Dick Green, second baseman, bats ninth. And Ken Holtzman takes the mound. We could turn off the DH, but we'll leave it on for just this game because, damn it, it is the American League. We'll let them have their DH just for this one because we're not going to play the whole game, I don't think. So another way too is just to, if you wanted to kind of cheat, you could set up a season and then just play exhibition games and keep your own kind of way. So that's another way to do a World Series as well. Just use the exhibition game function. So Clinton says he may go back to Digital Diamond 12. He says that he's working on the 1914 that he dropped in. Digital Diamond Baseball adds the Status Pro stuff in. Yeah, it does. Looked in the player editor, nothing about batting versus lefting or pitching versus lefting. Thank God for Retro Sheet. Oof. Yeah. It's a lot of work, man. It's a lot of work. So hopefully, if I'd like to support Mark, I buy it every year. It's a good baseball game. So, I mean, I will play it. I am just a little bit disappointed about the Status Pro thing. But, because I was hoping I could play it digitally. But it doesn't seem to be working that way. But we'll see what happens. All right, let's get this going. Here's Jim Northrup. All right, we're not going to do any stats. We're just going to play the game. Going around the Oakland Alameda County Stadium, which they should have given the A's a new ballpark, damn it. All right, here is the delivery, and Northrup swings. This one bounced toward first, and Joe Rudy will take it to the bag himself. So Jim Northrup is retired, one away now for Al Kaline, and I do have to update my pictures and get rid of this face gen nonsense. 2-1 pitch on the way to Kaline. Swung on, little tapper back to the mound. Holtzman will have this. He'll go to first, and they are not going to get Al Kaline. So infield single for him. Brings up Bill Freehand. Pretty good power here from Freehand, the catcher. 1-0 pitch to Bill. Freehand swings, and this was sinking liner into left and right into the glove of Jesus Salou. So 2 away here in the top of the first in an exhibition game using Mike Garland's classic teams of the 70s. And here's Stormin' Norman Cash, the DH. 1-2 pitch. Cash swings, and lazy fly ball twisting foul, and in foul territory making the catch over there is Jesus Salou. So side retired, no runs, a hit, no errors, and a runner left on. We head to the bottom of the first. The 1972 Tigers nothing, and the 1973 Oakland A's coming to bat. All right, Billy North leads things off here. Bill Slayback has a sign from Bill Freehand. 1-2 delivery on the way. Billy North, swing and a miss. Went to many games at the Coliseum, he said, when he lived in NorCal. In between time hanging out with the Sons of Anarchy, of course, because they were NorCal. I think it would have been fun. I think before they put in those, I saw pictures of this before it became this kind of hybrid ballpark. It was a nice ballpark at one time. All right, here's Sal Bando, one of my favorite A's players. 2-0 pitch. And Bando is going to have a little dunker, as legends would call it, into right field. So Bando aboard at first, and that will bring up Joe Rudy. And there goes the runner, Bando. Do they got him? Freehand gets him. Close play at first. I don't know. It looked like it pulled McAuliffe off the bag, but Bando was out. So 2 away. Rudy back in the box in the 1-2 pitch. Rudy swings. This one past third into left field. So Oakland with its second base hit. 2 away now. And that will bring up Reggie. Here's the pitch. And there goes the runner, Rudy, the tag, and they get him. Bad jump by Rudy, and they run themselves out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and obviously nobody left on. We're scoreless as we go to the top of the second, and I keep checking into the chat. All right, Mickey Stanley, Gates Brown, and Aurelio Rodriguez due up for the 72 Tigers. Ken Holtzman into the wind, and the 1-0 pitch to Mickey. Stanley swings. This one soft liner to short, and easy play for Bert Campaneris. Gates Brown now. Behind 2-1. The lefty swings, and this is going to be a nice little blooper into right field. Base hit. So Gates Brown aboard. If he can get a jump, he'll steal a base occasionally. And here's Aurelio Rodriguez. 1-2 pitch. Runner does not go. Rodriguez tattoos this one out to left, but not deep enough. This line drive is going to go to Jesus Alou. So Alou's been very busy out there in left field today. 2 down, runner on, no score for Dick McAuliffe. Don't expect huge homers from McAuliffe. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and McAuliffe gets hit. So 2 on. Holtzman, I think that was just a case of the ball slipping out. A little curve ball. McAuliffe not even glancing over. He knows. All right, here's Ed Brinkman, shortstop, batting in the 9 slot. 1-2 pitch. Brinkman swings, and this one popped foul, first base side, and running in there and making the catch is Green. So that does it. The Tigers strand 2. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. Reggie Jackson, Gene Tennis, Jesus Alou due up. Here's the delivery to Jackson. Reggie swings, and this one's going to be fly ball out to center field. Mickey Stanley on his horse will make the grab for out number 1. Here's Gene Tennis. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strike. Swung on by Tennis. Fly ball out to right center field, and they're converging out there. And Mickey Stanley will take charge and make the catch for out number 2. So 2 gold gloves here for these 1972 Tigers, Bill Freehan and Mickey Stanley. All right, brings up Jesus Alou of the Alou dynasty, the 1-1 pitch. And he swings. Grounder to first, and no problem for Al Kaline. He's going to fire that on to Slayback for the 3-run putout. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on the bases left. Top of the third, no score. Checking over, not seeing anything from Legend, so we're going to keep going until he goes. All right, so we're back at the top of the order here. Jim Northrup, Al Kaline, and Bill Freehan due up for the 72 Tigers. Ken Holtzman has yet to walk a batter or strike anyone out. 2-0 delivery on the way now. And this one grounded hard up the middle, base hit. So Jim Northrup aboard, and that would bring up Al Kaline. Kaline, first hit for the Tigers in this game. He is 1 for 1 in the 1-1 pitch. Kaline swings, soft little fly ball out to left field, and once again it's Jesus Alou. So 1 away for Bill Freehan. 2-2 the count. Lined out his last time up, and Freehan's going to send this the other way to right field, and camping under it, gloving it, is Reggie Jackson. So 2 away. Northrup remains at first for Stormin' Norman Cash, batting in the cleanup spot. 1-1 pitch for Cash. Cash swings, and little shallow grounder into right, and going for 3 is Jim Northrup. He just turned on the Jets and kept going and got gunned down. So 2 base runners in the inning, but the Tigers do not capitalize. We head to the bottom of the third, and it is still 0-0. Bill Slayback with a strikeout in this game. All right, so it'll be Pat Borkberg, Campaneris. Do up here. To Green, 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So nice fastball there by Slayback to pick up his second K. Here's Bert Campaneris. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Campaneris swings on this one. Line drive, base hit, left field. So Campaneris aboard, and no slouch in the base paths. And here is Dick Green. Dick Green batting in the number 9 slot for the 1973 A's. 1-1 pitch. Green sends this one to short. Oh, this one gets past short into left field. So Campaneris moves to second. Brinkman not able to make the play, gets under the glove. So the Oakland A's of 1973 threatening here as Billy North, we're back at the top of the order, is in the box. The lefty is 0 for 1, the 2-1 pitch. North swings. This one grounded to short, 6-4, and no relay throw. So Dick Green coming in hard there. Runners at the corners, 2 away for Salvatore Bando. 0-2 pitch. Bando swings. Does it have the distance? Nope. Liner to right. And Northrop hustles and makes the grab. We have us a pitcher's duel here. 0-4-0 for both teams. We head to the top of the 4th at Oakland Coliseum. How about it? What's the weather here today in our exhibition game? Partly cloudy, 54 degrees, and we have a wind right to left at 10 miles per hour. Cool, cool, cool. All right. We will have Mickey Stanley, Gates Brown, and Aurelio Rodriguez. Mickey Stanley, 0 for 1. And the wind and the pitch by Holtzman. Stanley swings. Hopper to short. And late getting out of the glove there, but able to make the throw is Bert Campaneris. You're as good of a shortstop as Bert Campaneris. You can take that extra millisecond. All right, Gates Brown, 1 for 1. Count full on Gates. And this one in low on the 3-2 pitch. So Gates Brown aboard now for Aurelio Rodriguez, who is 0 for 1. And the pitch. And swung on. And this one grounded hard into right. And look at Gates Brown turning on the Jets, baby. The tag at third, and he's safe. How about it? Rodriguez goes to second on the plate. Gates Brown turning it on, man. All right, 2 in scoring position for the 1972 Tigers. And here's Dick McAuliffe. 3-0 pitch on the way. McAuliffe takes inside. Ball 4. Base is sold out. Checking in. Legends finishing up. Getting ready to put the paper to bed. All right. And here's Ed Brinkman. So Brinkman with a chance here to get Detroit on the board. Detroit leading and hits 5-4. 1 down, bases loaded, and swung on, grounded to short, and that's going to be a run's going to score on that one. So Brown scores the first run, Gates Brown, and it's 1-0 Detroit, 2 away. And here's Jim Northrop batting with runners at the corners. Rodriguez at third. Ed Brinkman at first. No speed in Brinkman at first. Northrop 1 for 2 in the contest. Here's the 2-0 delivery. And he swings. And this one, hard hit ball past second. And that's going to be an RBI. Dick Green unable to get to that one. Runner is safe at third. Brinkman just gets in there. Credit Jim Northrop with an RBI single, and the 72 Cats now lead 2-0. All right, got 12 people hanging out for a little bit. Thank you, and hopefully the first part of tonight's video was helpful for you guys in digging a little deeper into out-of-the-park baseball. All right, 2 in scoring position, 2 away, top of the 4th, 2-0 Tiger lead as Al Kaline strides to the plate, settles in the box. Kaline today is 1 for 2. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kaline swings, and this one's going to be just a little soft fly ball out into shallow center and going out and making the catch there. Jackson. All right, so Detroit tacks 2 on, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. And it is 2-0. Legend says he'll be on in a couple, finish the game, and pack everyone in the van afterward. All right, guys. We're going to speed it up here. We're going to speed it up. I'm just going to say, here's Joe Rudy and what's going on, not what they did, anything like that. All right, 0-1 delivery. Rudy swings, and if this turns into a route, then this one lined to McAuliffe. Then we just move up ahead a few innings. In fact, that's probably what we'll do. Reggie up, strike 3, 2 down. And we're just going to let Gene Tennis bat, and then we're going to move this ahead a few innings. See if it becomes a ball game. Oh, we got an error, baby. Ed Brinkman. Ed Brinkman. So score that one E6, and it's not a clean game. Here's Jesus Alou now. Gene Tennis on at first. Average speed 2-0 delivery. And this should end the inning on a 4-3 putout. There you go. All right. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one left on. Detroit leads 2-0. Let's go ahead and move this up to the 7th. Still 2-0. Let's move it up some more. Let's go to the 9th. Do we even have a ball game? It's 4-2. We'll go ahead and play this 9th inning here. So it is the top of the 9th. Detroit, last chance for them. It's going to be Rodriguez, McAuliffe, and Brinkman. I don't see any. Do we see any defensive changes either way? Nope. So for Oakland, as we head to the top of the 9th, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Detroit, however, 2 runs, 7 hits, and 3 miscues. All right, Rodriguez 1 for 3. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Guys, get packed up. We're going to Legends. Sports Universe. Strike 3 swinging. Raleigh Fingers in there to pitch. All right, here comes Dick McAuliffe. 0 for 1 in the game. Count full on McAuliffe. Fingers deals. McAuliffe sends us out to right field. Has some depth, but not enough. Short of the track, Reggie Jackson makes the catch. It's down to Duke Sims, so we have us a pinch hitter. 3-0 pitch on Sims. Here comes Fingers' delivery. And Sims takes just off the plate outside. Tigers not ready to surrender just yet. All right, back at the top of the order. Jim Northrup had a good game, 2 for 4 with an RBI. And here's the pitch. And this one's a wild pitch. This one getting away from Gene Tennis. Uh-oh. So now the complexion of this game in the 9th changes just a little bit. We've got to give Gene Tennis time to get back behind the plate. All right, Northrup back in the box. 2-0 pitch. Swung on. Fly ball right field going toward the line. And making the catch is Reggie Jackson. And that's it. Little exhibition action here to end our little tutorial. That does it. No recap when you got it. Let's see who the player of the game was. Bill Slayback, your final score, 4-2. I want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Let's head on over for a game with Legend Sports Universe and the Franchise Stars Baseball League. And I want to thank everybody coming in because I'm going to rush off. Can't thank everybody. You know who you are. Love you all, family. You Borgata, you crazy people. All right, see you at Legends. And until next time that we're on here, see you around the batting cage, which will be tomorrow night. Good night, guys.